This is the worst Spirit Halloween location. For the most part, every spirit is fine. You'll never run into any trouble, at least for the most part.
You guys gotta go. Get out before I call the cops.
But how bad can they be? If there's animatronics and merchandise, it's all good. Except for this location in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. While searching for spirits with bad reviews, I came across this one with a 1-star rating. I've never seen anything so bad before. Shout out to that other Nate guy on YouTube where he filmed this spirit that wasn't the best, but this one, according to the reviews, might be worse. And when trying to find photos of what may have caused that rating, there were none. The only thing was this generic stock photo. This place is so bad, no photos can even be published. But upon clicking on the review, you can see it's the only one. Well, dang. Let's see what it says. Absolutely the worst store I've ever visited. Me and my wife love going to Spirit. It's a yearly tradition, but this particular store was terrible. The staff was very disrespectful, and one of them followed us through the whole store. Trust me, I know how that feels. When I inquired if we did something wrong, I was given the typical, "Oh, I'm just seeing if you need help" response. The worst was when we got to checkout, they struggled to count my money, and an even worse time with my change. The total was $63 after rounding up for charity, and I gave them $100. The amount of mental gymnastics that was needed from them to give me my change was astounding. After the disaster of trying to get proper change, we were trying to walk out when one of their associates were too busy talking to move. It took 2 excuse us and 1 hey you want to move to finally get the idiot to move out of the walkway. 0 out of 10, worst Spirit Halloween I've ever stepped foot in. We'll never return to this one. Wow, what a review. Let's see the response from the owner. "We're so sorry to hear your store experience was less than ideal. Can you please reach out to us at this email so we can further assist?" Totally a real response, definitely not computer generated. But man, after reading that, I got to check this out. Not only is this guy mad, but he left a review longer than the Declaration of Independence talking about the experience, and couldn't even get any photos in the process. If no one else can, then I will be the brave one to do it. Let's see what crazy secrets are kept behind these doors. Now, upon arriving, I felt something was off, so I had to check my phone one more time and witnessed something pretty shocking. This is actually crazy. Right as I pull up, I look at my phone one last time, and I see the old review has been removed and now replaced with a 5-star review. I mean, I haven't checked it in a couple days, but I assumed that the review would still be there. I've never seen reviews get removed off Google until now. Something tells me from that, this place is a little fishy. They're covering up reviews, and there's still no photos. I mean, they added one now of the outside of the building, so that's good, I guess, but we still have nothing more than that. Now I was more eager than ever to get in this place. Walking in, I immediately noticed that there was no animatronics on display. Usually when a location is smaller, they'll have the smaller display, but here there's nothing besides the Mount Everest pile of them. I guess that definitely makes up for it. However, there were other little stuff like empty spaces, displays falling down, and even papers left out for the employees. But I had to take a closer look at everything to see if this location is really that bad. I'll start by looking at the animatronics. Right in the front, you have Mutant Sewer Rat. This one I've seen at pretty much every spirit, but he's a pretty cool one, so I don't really mind it. But then right next to him is the Ringmaster, which was an animatronic last year. He was part of the carnival theme. You got 2 of these Trick-or-Treat Pete's, which he's honestly one of my least favorites just because he doesn't do anything other than spit out candy, which they don't even have on display in the stores anyway. It's just a piece of plastic. However, this one was kind of cool. Crypt Countess, just because she goes all over the place and goes insane. This is also one of the loudest animatronics ever too. So maybe it's a good thing they don't have this one set up. And then you have what is definitely my least favorite this year. That would be Night Owl. I actually feel almost overwhelmed. There's so much, but we're gonna make it through. We got a Fogging Pumpkin pile. And then at the bottom you have Headcase Harry, which they actually had to take off display and replace him with another animatronic because his face was ripping. Behind the pumpkin pile, we have an old one, the Straw Man. That is really crazy to see. On top of him, you have the Decaying Zombie Groundbreaker. This isn't even an animatronic. These are just thrown in here. In front of that, you have some more zombie items, just because why not? And they're on top of the Sinister Straw Man, which if he was in here, he would definitely go through the ceiling. In the middle there, you got a Jack the Reaper archway inflatable. You got the Ghost Swing, along with Jack the Reaper at the bottom. Here's a couple empty Soul Girls on a swing, along with a swinging mechanism. And it just continues on. We got a Jack-o'-lantern archway. Here's a couple of the stuffed dummies. We got the Swinging Witch. And then behind this is animatronic from last year, Wanda. You have 2 of the Lantern Keepers. Never seen this one set up. Monkey Business right here. Some more Headcase Harrys. And then right next to him is the animatronic that replaced him, called Two-Faced Teddy. And then these are the final 3 in just this pile. That's right, that was all just this area. We still have this entire section. Starting with the Ringmaster again right here. I guess they just had these laying around. Next to him is a sitting scary Scarecrow. He sits in the subway this year. And then below that is a demonic Gatekeeper, which got super beat up somehow. And then behind all of that, you can see the monster amount of jumping spiders. It's an entire wall just for that. But look at this old box. This is definitely not the design of this year. This is usually the box you see nowadays. Here's another old one, the Howling Spirit. You got this animatronic Trixie. This is the entire wall of sitting scary Scarecrows. And then next to that is a wall of Bullseye the Clown. And because there's so many, I'm just gonna speed run it now. We got the Fogging Pumpkin pile with the skull version right there. Here's Twisted Grandma with Two-Faced Teddy. Don't forget about Crypt Countless along with Cerberus. And the final one of this Mount Everest of animatronics is Sinister Strawman. Finally, I looked at every single one. Now with all of that done, let's now check out the rest of the store and hope that there's nothing else messed up. I always enjoy looking at the zombie babies. Usually it's the same ones though that you see all the time. But although this one's not new, I haven't seen this in a while. This is one of the ones that you just don't see that much anymore. And then hey look, all the way at the end it's me. You got a crow right here. Smile, you're on camera. Which I mean you definitely are. The first thing you see when you walk in is a giant camera screen. They're not messing around in this spirit. Now of course you have other random decorations right here. This one just turned on by itself. But my goal really right now is to try to find things I've never seen. Like this thing right here, the hand grabbing mechanism. I really don't remember ever seeing this. I mean, it looks like no one ever picks this thing up. And then around the corner of that, you have a real treat. No, I'm not talking about these pumpkins, but you actually have the display paper right there. I've never seen this. This is what the employees get so they know how to set the displays up, which even with that paper, they still failed. It's great because even the one thing that's supposed to be on this shelf is not even in the right spot. Okay, but enough of that for now. I'm ready to look at some of the costumes and masks. They have a huge wall of them right here with most of the common stuff you'll see, like Terrifier, Pennywise the Clown, one of my personal favorites, Jay the Killer, and even Halloween. But there is this one I've never seen. It's definitely wacky. I always thought these Star Wars ones look cool. They just have so much detail in them for no reason, but it makes for a really cool mask. Now, if I'm ever gonna look at costumes, it's usually always this section, and that's all the funny ones. However, in this store, this section's bigger than I've ever seen it. There's just walls of them right here. I'm not even gonna point these out because we've seen them a million times, but they do have some different ones like this, where it's a penguin inflatable. You got the inflatable donkey, and at the bottom is an inflatable wiener dog. I gotta say, they actually do have some good stuff. I didn't expect it, but I'll give credit where credit is due. Now, one section I never really look at is the kids' costumes, but I might as well take a look around now. You have this huge section right here dedicated to Fortnite, which is a game I never played. I know I sound like an old grandpa who's never played video games, which is honestly kind of true. Like Minecraft, this was one of the biggest games ever, and I've only played it once or twice on my phone. But I know a lot of you guys love this game, Five Nights at Freddy's. You got the regular costume or even an inflatable version. I honestly never knew they had this because like I said, I don't go in this section a lot. I like this section in the middle just because it's almost completely empty. And I love this, there's even more of it, but this one says coming soon with more merchandise, even though it's close to the end of October. And you got another one of those photos right there. Overall, I must say, this location may be hated by that one person, but to me, I liked it. It was stocked through the roof with merchandise, and although had some imperfections, it pretty much had everything Spirit could offer, plus more. After going here, I wouldn't call it the worst location. Make sure to subscribe and buy merch. Link in the description.